Hello here, and welcome on my working table and in my studio. My name is Lisbeth. I'm Danish, abstract mixed media artist who likes to do many things. And among these things are making fabric collages. And I have been so lucky. So here from the last video where I made a fabric collage, I have sold 3 of them, and that made me want to make some more. So today I will make a new fabric collage in this color scheme. As you can see here, I picked different fabrics, so I will start playing with them and make a collage on 20 by 20 centimeter on this heavy felt here. And I will show you step by step what I will be doing. There is a playlist below here under the video, under the little word more. There's a link for a playlist for the other fabric videos I have made, or for slow stitching videos, or for the Stitch Circle Show Challenge. So I have tried to divide my content up in playlists, so it is much easier to find things that interest you, and then you can skip the things that doesn't interest you. Yeah, what else do I want to say? I will take a little video of the collages that are for sale at the end of the video, and if one of them appeals to you and you are interested in buying that little fabric collage, take a screen dump and send me a message. Doesn't cost a lot of money, and I would really like them to go around in the world. 2 I have just sent to, one to Scotland and one to the Netherlands, so that is nice to know once things is going to be in other countries. I like that. But I will make a small video at the end of this video where you can see which one still is for sale. But enough of me talking. Let us start making this one here. This substrate here is an industrial felt, or some heavy felt. It is about half a centimeter thick, or 5 millimeters or so, and it has never seen a sheep. It is synthetic of some kind, and perhaps it would be nicer if it was wool, but wool wouldn't be able to do like this. It would do it like that, and I like that this here is stiff, because then it is easier to hold on to and stitch onto, and your stitches will lay flat and nice. If you are doing this on a normal hobby or craft felt, you can of course put it in a frame and stitch, but I don't like to use hoops, not frames, hoops, and that is why I like to stitch in this substrate here. But yeah, that's just me. And it is so easy to glue this onto a cradle board or a stretch canvas, or put it in a frame, because the structure of this is like this here. Yeah, but this is what I will use for substrate. And then I have these different things here to play with. Some kind of ribbon that is stretchy, and some, I don't know what it is. It's something I had inherited from, yeah, I can't remember where, but it's a strip of something. This is also a strip of something from, I think it is a curtain fabric. And this is just ordinary plain green cotton fabric. And here are some bits and bobs from my friend who dyes her fabric herself. And these are the interesting ones, and I really would like to use them. And I know I really like this piece there, these blue-green colors. So this is definitely going to be in this piece here today. So I think I will start with that. It is like making collages with paper. There isn't much different in the way I build them up. Of course, I don't glue these on. They are stitched on, and there are more stitching on them. But the way of working is for me the same. So I think I will have a strip of this here. So I will just make a little hangover, because the last thing I do is to cut my collages clean. That is the last thing I do when I'm done. And I think size-wise there. So I again will just cut it there, and I tear. That is the easiest way here. I like the sound of tearing both fabric and paper. So this is for sure, this is going to be sitting there. The nice thing, the reason why I like to work on squares, and this is, yeah, I forgot to say that, 20 by 20 centimeters, or 8 by 8 inches approximately. That is, even though I'm sitting here and making in this direction, nobody can tell me to not to put it, for instance, this way or this way when I'm done. Perhaps it looks better this way when I'm done. You never know. And that is the nice thing about making works, like doing something that is square format. So this will be there. And here I have this here, and there already is a piece cut out there. So I think I perhaps also want a piece of that. And if you're going over or under or over, or what you're doing, that depends on the look. But for a start, I think I will just go under here. And I would make sure that there is so much overlapping, so it won't make a gap when I start sewing over it. But I think I will put something over this line, so there's a little more blue here. So perhaps, yeah, it's a little crooked, but there I can put that. And then there are this strip here. Most of my fabric collages are made in the grid way, because my pieces of fabric are squares or rectangle or strips. But of course, if you have leftover pieces that are curved or other shapes, you can of course use them. Yeah, I like that. So now I need something there. And what could that be? Yeah, perhaps this is too much the same. This one is a little more different than this piece here. There. There's really nice colors. And then I have this strip here. Perhaps I could put a piece of, I think I will cut a little more of this off, but I like that it's a different shape than all the other pieces. Yeah, and this is a little that way also, but if I want it straight, I can cut some of it off. But something like this, and then I need to find a little piece of something to put in there as a focal point. That is an option, and I really think I like it. I also have this strip here. Let us see. I'll put this. Yeah, it isn't long enough, and it is some purplish something in there, so I don't like that. Then there's this piece here. I can see if I like that instead. Could be something like this. Yeah. They are solid, both of these, and I like these colors where they are colors moving in and out of each other. So I think I will go for this one. This one was perhaps too dark. I also have this here, but that is perhaps too in your face. Green. Yeah, that's too much. But I really like this piece here. I could also make another one with that. I think this is what I prefer. There, and this strip there, and a strip of this here. But this is I will put this on when I've done sewing all the other pieces down. So this is the layout I am going for. Sew away with all these bits and bobs so they aren't distracting me. And this one can go away, and this one can go away. So, yeah, I think I just want to... I like the free edges, but yeah, it doesn't matter that it is a little crooked. Perhaps it doesn't. And here is the selvage, but I think I will keep it on and just let it be there. So I will just also cut this off. Whoops, that was a tough one. There. And there, I can cut this off. I like to save all these bits and bobs and small pieces here because you never know where they will end up. So there and there. These are the three first pieces I'm going to sew down. And when you build up or design or making collages, I audition and try different things, but what for me is the most exciting thing is that none of the pieces has the same size or the same color or the same values, that there are different. The more different things there is, the more exciting the collage is for me, and I think for most people. But I will just dab these on, and they will not glue stick. And it isn't about gluing it down, it's just about, yeah, that I see that is empty. I will find another one. It's not about it is going to hold the places or the pieces there for good. It's just about holding them down while I'm doing the stitching. That is all this is meant for. So they won't fly around. So I'll just put some on there so they, and I will want to be sure not to see the white edges there. And then there's this piece here. A glue there and some glue there. And then I will find some machine sewing cotton thread. The thinnest thread you can sew with, or I have in my house, is this. And then I will invisible baste these 3 pieces down. But I will just find a thread and start doing that, and I can show you. So I will start here where these 2 are overlapping. So I will just bring my needle up through here and as close to the edge as you can feel with your index finger here under, and go a couple of threads back in the fabric and go back like the tiniest back stitch and come up about a centimeter ahead of you. Oh, that is a quite long thread I have taken here. I don't think I need all that thread, but and then I will go a couple of threads back and go down again here. Come up and go down a couple of threads. Come up and go down a couple of threads. So that is what is called invisible basting, or if you're used to sewing your own garments or so, you probably know this is a prick stitch. It is quite known for seamstresses, but it is a nice stitch to sew something down with that is nearly invisible. In these multicolored or several colors fabric, you can't hardly see it, and it looks like this on the back. Long stitches here on the back, and you can see I'm getting so close to the edge as I can. But I will sew these 4 pieces all the way around, and your job is to make them lying nice and flat so there isn't any ripples or bubbles or so. They have to lie nice and flat. So all the 3 pieces of fabric are sewn down, and I'm ended up here where I started, and I have some thread left, so I think I also just will baste this down here in the side. So again, I will just take my glue stick there and find the end there. Yeah, where do I want to place it? I think there. And again there. Just some glue there. And place it so it isn't so crooked. Isn't that? Yeah. That's fine, I think. So I will just invisible baste it there and there. And you can say, why don't there and there? I mean, I think I will do some fancy stitching there and also there. So I don't need to do that. You don't have to waste work, and if you know you're going to stitch something different. So I think I will turn it this way because my thread is sitting here. So I will also just invisible baste this there and there and show it to you. I haven't quite figured out which stitches I want to use for these 2 strips here, but I know I will do a vertical line of straight stitches here, so I will just do that for a start. And I have taken this, it looks very green here, but I think when it comes on here it isn't so. Yeah, I want you to be able to see it, but not so you run away, because it is so much in your face. But let me see here how that looks. And I will go in over the frayed edges. So just simple straight stitches like a railway track. And of course you can make them so close or far apart as you want. But I like them to be pretty close and pretty big, especially here because they are going over a bigger area with frayed edges. And you can see, even though it looked very harsh green on the cone, it isn't so bad here on the fabric. Yes, you can see here. I will sew all the way down. I think I know what I want to do. This is going to be there, and I think I will make a line of square stitches in the middle. And this line here, I will just do some running stitches, and at this line I would do the same as these stitches there, straight stitches down, and a piece of that there. And then I perhaps can do a little cluster of square stitches up here. And this is just going to be sewn down invisible, I think. So for a start, a row of running stitches or a line of running stitches here. I could also just have invisible baste them. I found a thread that isn't have such a big contrast, just a little contrast. So I will sew this out of camera, this line here with running stitches and this line here with straight stitches like this. And then I will be back. I'm done with the row of straight stitches here, and you can see when I reach that point, I know this piece is going down there, so I just make some bigger or more space between them. There wasn't any reason for making them so close there. So that is why there's it looks quite funny now. But now I want to put this piece on here in the middle, and I think I will give it again some glue with my glue stick, because this is a flimsy fabric to place down, and it isn't so nice to put pin. Yeah, you could of course put pins in, but that is not so easy to have pins in such a heavy felt here and stitch at the same time. So I have just glued that down, and you can take the most of it off. I will cut the rest off when I'm done here with the whole fabric collage. So let me see there. I have taken this darker green here. I think I can see it here. Should I have taken yeah. This one you can really see. Perhaps this is better. It always gets so dark and moody if I think I will. Yeah, that's a woman's right to change her mind during the process. And again, it is, when you look at the spools here, they look really, but when you sew them down, it isn't the same. So I think it's okay. But I will just put a row of square stitches here in the middle of this strip. And a square stitch is, as it says, a square. It's a stack of squares upon each other I will make. So a straight stitch and again a straight stitch, and I will make them quite big. And then, whoops, here again my needle is flying away. You come up at the lower stitch in the same space and go down here, and in which order you do this, it really doesn't matter, as long as you end up with something looking like a square or rectangle. But if you do it correctly, like they do in the big embroidery books, you will end up with a cross on the back side. But don't mind that. So again, I come up and go down in the hole there. I don't know why this is not so nice to stitch in. There it was. And then I come up again here, here, and down there, and come up there, and down here, and then you have a square again. Come up here, down there, and I don't mind them being wonky. If you want them totally straight or totally even sized, you will do it more precisely than I'm doing. But as I said, this is hand stitching. It isn't a machine that's doing it. And there perhaps is a knot here. Oh. What a stupid place that. Yeah, I will have to tangle that out, and you don't need to see that. I will be back. So here we go again. Come up here. And down. And you have to hit the same holes, so that is what is a little difficult when you're doing it. It's not difficult. You just have to look for what you're doing. But right now I'm stitching through the felt and 2 strips of fabric and some glue also, and that's why it looks a little tough. Here, down there, and up again here. So you can see it isn't anything else but straight stitches sewn as a square and stacked. And there you can see on the back the crosses I was mentioning, if you're doing it like they say in the big books. But I will go all the way down there and be back. Oh, nearly done. And I run out of thread there, and then I just take some more thread and started there. And since again I'm a little lazy today, perhaps I know I won't need the stitches there because this is going over. I will just secure my thread here on the back, and I'm not doing anything else but putting my needle through the felt there. So there and there. So that is looking fine now. And now for this piece here, this end here. Let me see how far does I want it to go down. About there, I think. So I'll just cut that off there, and I will also cut the yellow fabric off there. Yeah, that wasn't perhaps the smartest thing to do, but there. This is a little nicer, I think. Yeah. And away with all this fluffy stuff. There. And this I will just invisible baste down exactly as I have done all the way around, and you don't need to see me do that. So I will do that, and then I think I will make a little cluster up here with these stitches and find something I can use for a focal point. Okay, now we are talking. This is invisible baste down, and I won't do anything more with it. There is so much golden pattern on it, so I think it is fine. And then I just sewn 3 small squares up there. So now I think it is done. It doesn't need any more but something there. And I've been in my box with different things, and I have a small plastic bag with sea glass in, and this was the biggest piece I could find, and I wanted to live there or sit there. So I have just taken this thread. I think is the best for this, and it is a little curvy, so it won't, yeah, I don't think glue is the best choice, but just for holding it down here while I'm stitching it down, perhaps it can help. And I think I want it up there and diagonal like this. So I will just press it down for a second. And then I will just stitch over it. So it's the stitches that keep it in place. It's not the glue that is holding it down, because that is just for my sake now. So I will just come up here. Let me see. There. And go down here. There. Yeah, it is about placing your fingers. Go over here. And go down here. So this is 2 diagonal this way. Let us put one in the middle also. There. And there. So let us do some stitches the other way. I think I will start in the middle this time, come up here. And here is a little curve there, so this is nice. It would probably be sitting there with no where else to go. There. Make 2 more stitches on one of each on each side. And since it is only gonna hang on a wall and not on a bag or something you're using, it, I think, yeah, it would sit there now. And this thread I will secure a little more than all the other threads, because this is going to keep the sea glass in place. I really like these pieces of sea glass. It is one of my favorite things to use. Yeah, I think it's fine. It is going to sit there. So now I will take my cutting mat and cut the edges clean, or you can also just take your scissor and cut all the way around and cut here along the line of the felt, like I'm doing now. This you can also do, but sometimes it gets a neater thing here if you take your cutting mat and do it. So I will just do this out of camera. You probably all know how you do that. And then I will take some close-ups at the end here of the video. And this was the other way around. But when I've cut it clean, we can try to look it from all four wall corners. I can show you one side here how I'm doing it. I place my ruler here a little far out than the fabric, and then you just run your rotary cutter over the fabric. Yeah, and that wasn't very successful. There's a piece sitting there still. There. And I think they get neater than when I'm cutting them with the scissors. Okay, it's cut clean, and I think it became a little darker than I have expected, but I really like it. But I can try to show you if I turn it this way, if you like it that way. But if somebody is buying it, they can decide which way they are thinking it is going to be, up and down. This could also work. Then it looks like something coming up from the sea, something instead. I think of the four ways, I like this way or that way best. But I will let it be this way here. So done with this piece here, and I really hope you have been inspired or learned some tips and tricks for how you can use your scraps and your leftovers. So if you have, I would really appreciate it if you would give my video a thumbs up and perhaps consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very helpful of you, and I would be glad. But when this little clip is over, I will put in a clip for the other collages I have still for sale, and you can look at them there. But else I will just say, please be creative, and please take care, and also please be nice to each other. So bye for now, and see you soon again.